Hey Smiles Trial, welcome back to another video. So in this video today, we're going to be talking about what is my hair type. So a lot of people ask me, well, I'm lying, ain't nobody been asking me recently, but every once in a while I do get some clients who will come in and ask, hey Lisa, what's my curl type, or what's my hair type? And sometimes I'll even see that even online. I haven't seen it a lot, but I do want to address this because I was thinking about this when I was recording the other day about thick strands and fine strands, and thick, high density hair and low density hair. So I said, oh, this would be a good topic to kind of touch on for those who might have questions about what's your hair type. And maybe some of y'all are really in to hair typing. I'm just here to tell you, as a hair care professional for over 10 years, I had to put that out there. I don't like to say my accolades a lot, but about how long I'm in the industry, but sometimes I have to for the bed to differ spirits. But don't get caught up in the hair type, the number system, like 4A, 4B, and first of all, you're not a number, okay? First of all, you're not a letter, okay? Let me go ahead and get pull the hair evangelist out. You are created in God's image. You don't put yourself in a number, okay? Don't put yourself in a number. I don't really go off the number system. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, some people say, oh, I have 4B hair. Oh, I have 4C hair. They don't really do nothing but just tell you the number. And that's why I want to get into understanding your hair type. And this will probably help you better when it comes to styling your hair and also picking out products. And sometimes you'll see products or see advertisement where people actually say that, like, hey, this is for the 4C girls or the 3A girls. And it's too confusing to keep up with that. And that number system, it just tells you how tight or how loose your curls is. That's not really helpful, because really you need to know what's more important is about your actual hair, like your hair strands and the density of your hair. That's really gonna make a big difference versus knowing what number you fall into. I don't know why my camera keeps shaking. I'm gonna have to hold it. But anyway, so you can have, okay, so when it comes to you understanding your hair, you either can have 3 types of strands. And what I mean by strands is the actual strand coming out your scalp. So some people have fine strands, okay? So it's little like my pinky finger, which my pinky finger is not really fine, but just kind of just use it as an example. Some of y'all might have fine strands, right? Some of y'all might have medium strands, and some of y'all might have thick strands. So if you have fine strands, just to give y'all another visual example, your strands are probably thin like a piece of paper, okay? And then if your strands are medium, just to give y'all some context, maybe your strands are a little bit thicker. So think about maybe a pencil, okay? Medium strands. And if you have very, very thick strands, just to give you another example of context, think about a marker, a permanent marker. So a permanent marker is a lot thicker than a pencil. Okay, so they give you context. So keep that visual in your mind. I hope this is making sense. I hope I'm explaining this good. So if you have fine, think of your paper as a sheet of paper, strands. You might have medium strands, which is equivalent to maybe a pencil, not literally, but just kind of give y'all an example. Or you might have thick, which meaning it could be as thick as a permanent marker, right? So take that in context. So if you have fine hair, fine strands, let me say it right, fine hair strands, sometimes your hair can be a little bit easier to break, right? It can be more susceptible to breakage, meaning if you have fine strands, you don't have the 3 layers, okay? So there's 3 layers. You got the outer layer, which is the hair cuticle, and then you have the medulla. Well, hold on, let me back up. Yeah, you have 3 layers to the hair. More than likely, if you have fine strands, you don't have all the 3. You're missing, which is the medulla, if I'm saying it right, which is the innermost part of your hair. Okay, your hair is lacking that, so that's why your strands are appearing a little bit more thinner, okay? But for those who have medium to thick, you have all 3 layers of your hair strand. I'm not going to get too technical with the terms because it's not really important now I think about it. So just know that if you have fine, that your hair don't have all the 3 layers. That's okay. That's why the fine strands are more likely to break, because it don't have that extra support. Now which exit do I need to get off of? I'm gonna get off of this exit. Now, if you have thicker strands, not saying that your hair can't break, but your hair has a little bit more give when it comes to like when you're doing your hair, it's not going to break as easily. Now, it still can break if it's dry, but just want to keep that in mind, okay? Now, you also can have fine strands but have high density hair. Let's talk about the density of your hair. So the density of your hair, you can either have low density hair, and what I mean by low density, and I have a little diaphragm that I made on a piece of paper. You know what? I'm about to stop because I feel like I have to draw it. I feel like I had to draw it out, but well, I'm not gonna draw it out right now. So if you have low density hair, think of a square. Okay, do this example right now and draw a square on a piece of paper. And I want you to sparingly put some dots and spread them out. So if you have low density hair, that means that you have only a few hair strands per square. Meaning that the strands that's coming out your hair, like if you got a square of hair, there's not a lot of strands that coming out. And that's going to result to low density hair. Now, your density is created at birth. God created you in his image. So some of us, he gave low density, and some of us he gave medium, and some of us we gave high density. Just like with your strands, some people have low, fine strands, medium, or thick strands. No strand is better than the other. Okay. First, I want to affirm you on that. No matter what density your hair is, you're still beautiful in the sight of God. Okay. So let's put that out there. Now, you might have, actually, you know what? Do I got a piece of paper in here? Because I feel like I'm about to stop because I got a appointment to go to. So yeah, if you got low density hair, you're not going to have a lot of hair strands per square. Now, take that same paper and add a little bit more dots. That's going to create you medium density, meaning it's not too little and it's not too much. Just because you have medium density don't mean you any better, okay? Don't mean you any better, okay? So don't get beside yourself, okay? Now, thick, high density hair, meaning them dots in that square you got a lot of them, okay? So meaning, like, picture this as a square. Meaning if you got high density, you got a lot of strands coming out your scalp. Now, a lot of people come to me and be like, Lisa, can you make my hair thicker? But if God already created you and he only put, this to say, for example, 10 strands per square, I cannot magically make 20 strands per square be added. Does that make sense? Please put a thumbs up in the chat if that makes sense. Well, we're not live, but thumbs up in the comments if that made sense. Okay, so I want y'all to understand that if you have low density hair and you don't have a lot of square strands per square, a hairstylist can't change that. But a hairstylist can style your hair in a way where it looks fuller and where it looks thicker. Okay, so there's still hope for you even if you have low density hair. So I think this is very important to understand what's your density of your hair and what kind of strands you have. Now, just for context, as y'all can see, I have very high density hair, meaning when I part my hair, like in the square, I have a lot of strands coming out that square. Now, my actual strands, I would say, is medium. I don't have, it might look thick, but my strands, like this is what I mean by strands. You see this? My strand is actually on a medium scale. It's not too thin and it's not too thick. It might look thick, okay? My strand might look thick, but it's not it's as thick as you think it is. But because I have high density, and that's another thing. You can have fine hair strands but have high density hair, meaning the strands that's coming out your scalp can be very, very fine, but you have a lot of them per square inch, okay? And that's very important to know, because that's going to determine how you're going to style your hair. That's going to determine what kind of products you need to be using in your hair. And just for a rule of thumb, for those who might have fine strands coming out your hair, sometimes, yes, your hair will work better with creams and butters. Like, you might benefit more from doing a twist out or something, like we're using a curl cream and stuff like that. Not saying you can't use foams, but typically I see better results with people who have fine strands. I see them get better results with their hair, and it appears fuller when they use more thick and rich products. Versus on the other end, if you somebody, you might have high density hair, or you might have thick strands or something like that. My strands are medium, so I can kind of do either or. I can kind of do foams or creams, but my preference is foams. But if you have more, well, especially if you got high density hair, if you either have high density hair or thick strands, you will more so benefit by using more lighter products, okay? Like your foams and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that's more lightweight, like your hair milks and stuff, okay? So keep that in mind. And then also, your density can be different throughout your hair. Like, you can have low density up here but high back there, okay? So just know that your curls might be different in different areas of your hair. Now, I hope this video made sense, because I was trying not to make it too technical, like I'm speaking to the hairstyles. I was trying to make it as though, I'm talking to like maybe my 8-year-old niece. So hopefully this makes sense and this kind of give you some clarity. So just kind of keep that in mind when it comes to styling your hair, when it comes to finding products, and choosing the right products for you. And it's okay to mix and match, because again, like I said, some people might have fine strands but high density. You see what I'm saying? So even though some people might have fine strands but high density, some of those who might have fine strands, they'll still end up using the foam even though their strands are fine. But being the fact they have high density, they might be like, well, I don't want my hair to take all day to dry, so they'll do a foam because they got so many hairs that they want their hair to dry quick. Versus if they're not concerned about the hair drying quick, sometimes they'll use a cream just to kind of give you that extra boost and that extra volume if they wanted that. So anyway, hopefully this video made some clarity. Look, if you made it to this point, to the 13-minute mark, thank you for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, and make sure you share this video out. Hopefully it will help somebody with understanding your hair type. And remember, you are not a number, okay? You are a child of God, okay? You were made perfect in his image. So anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see you in the video. Bye.